You're 6 years old. It's Mother's Day at school. Everyone's making cards, drawing pictures, writing "I love you, Mom" in crooked letters. And you're sitting there, hands empty, heart heavy, because you don't have a mother to give it to. Maybe she died. Maybe she left. Maybe she was there physically but absent emotionally. Maybe you never knew her at all. The reason doesn't matter in this moment. The result is the same. You have a hole where a mother should be. And every Mother's Day, every school event, every moment when someone says, "Ask your mom," that hole gets deeper. This is the psychology of a child who grew up without a mother. And if you know, you know. Not theoretically, but viscerally. You know what it's like to watch other kids get picked up by their mums and feel that ache. You know what it's like to wonder what's wrong with you that made her leave, or what's unfair about the universe that took her away. Today, we're going deep into what that does to a person, because growing up without a mother doesn't just mean you missed out on one relationship. It means you missed out on the blueprint for how to be loved, how to trust, how to feel safe in your own skin. Let's start with the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Losing your mother, or never having her, is a wound that never fully heals. Not because you're weak, not because you're stuck, but because a mother is supposed to be your first love, your first teacher, your first safe place. She's supposed to be the one who sees you before you can even see yourself, who loves you before you know what love is, who makes the world feel safe enough to explore. And when she's not there, whether by death, abandonment, addiction, or emotional absence, you don't just lose a person, you lose your foundation, you lose the voice that was supposed to tell you you're enough. You lose the arms that were supposed to hold you when the world got too heavy. You lose the mirror that was supposed to reflect back your worth. And you spend the rest of your life trying to fill that void. Here's what happens psychologically. When you grow up without a mother, you learn very early that the world is not safe. Because if the one person who was biologically wired to protect you couldn't stay, or wouldn't stay, or wasn't capable of staying, then who can you trust? Your nervous system gets coded with abandonment, with the belief that people leave, that love is temporary, that you're not worth staying for, and that belief runs everything. It affects how you love, how you trust, how you show up in relationships. It affects whether you believe you're worthy of good things, whether you let people get close, whether you even let yourself want. Because wanting means risking, and risking means losing. And you've already lost the one person you were never supposed to lose. Let's talk about what this looks like in childhood. You grow up too fast. Because when there's no mother, someone has to step up. And often, that someone is you. Maybe you raised your siblings, maybe you took care of your dad, maybe you just took care of yourself because nobody else was going to. You learned to cook your own meals, do your own laundry, sign your own permission slips. You learned that needing someone is dangerous, that dependence is weakness, that the only person you can count on is yourself. And people praised you for it. They called you mature, responsible, strong. But you weren't strong, you were surviving. You lose the ability to just be a kid, to be carefree, to believe that someone will catch you if you fall, because the person who was supposed to catch you wasn't there. Here's what people don't understand about growing up without a mother. It's not just about missing one person, it's about missing everything that person was supposed to give you. You missed out on the little things, the braiding of your hair, the tucking in at night, the "how was your day" conversations, the inside jokes, the comfort when you were sick. You missed out on learning how to be a woman if you're a daughter, or how to love a woman if you're a son. You missed out on the modelling of healthy emotions, of nurturing, of unconditional love. You missed out on having someone who was unequivocally on your side, who thought you were the most important person in the world, who would fight for you without hesitation. And those aren't small things, those are foundational things. Those are the things that teach you that you matter, that you're lovable, that you're safe. And without them, You grow up feeling like there's something fundamentally wrong with you. Let's talk about the questions you carry. If she left, you ask, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? If I had been better, would she have stayed? If she died, you ask, why did this happen to me? What kind of universe takes away a mother? How do I live with this unfairness? If she was absent, you ask, why didn't she love me? Why didn't she try? What's wrong with me that made her incapable of showing up? And those questions don't have answers, but you keep asking them anyway. You replay memories, you search for clues, you try to make sense of something that will never make sense. And in the absence of answers, you create narratives. And most of the time, those narratives blame you. You tell yourself you weren't lovable enough, weren't important enough, weren't worth fighting for. And you carry that story into every relationship, every opportunity, every moment when you have to decide if you're worth choosing. And most of the time, you decide you're not. Here's what happens as you grow up. You struggle with attachment. Either you're anxious, constantly terrified that people will leave, so you cling, you overanalyze, you need constant reassurance, or you're avoidant, convinced that everyone will leave eventually, so you push people away before they can hurt you. You stay guarded, you never fully let anyone in. Sometimes you swing between both, desperate for connection but terrified of it, wanting to be loved but not believing you deserve it. You struggle with self-worth, because if your own mother couldn't love you, or couldn't stay, or couldn't show up, what does that say about you? You internalized her absence as evidence of your inadequacy, and that belief is still running your life. You struggle with anger, at her, at the universe, at other people who have mothers and don't appreciate them. You see mothers complaining about their kids and you want to scream. You see kids taking their mothers for granted and it breaks you, because you would give anything for what they're carelessly discarding. And that anger, it has nowhere to go, so it turns inward, or it explodes outward at the worst times. Let's talk about Mother's Day. For most people, it's a hallmark holiday, brunch reservations and flowers and sappy cards. For you, it's a minefield. It's a day that reminds you of what you don't have, what you'll never have, what everyone else seems to have so easily. You avoid social media, you stay home, you pretend it's just another day, but it's not, and you know it. Every commercial, every post, every happy Mother's Day you have to hear, it's 1,000 small cuts, 1,000 reminders that you're different, that you're missing something fundamental. And people don't get it. They ask about your mom without thinking. They assume you have one. They say things like, call your mom, or my mom always says. And each time you have to decide, do you correct them? Do you share your story? Do you just nod and change the subject? Most of the time, you do the latter, because explaining is exhausting, and people never know what to say anyway. Here's what you need to hear. Her absence was not your fault. Whether she left or died or stayed, but couldn't show up emotionally, it was not because of you. You were not too much. You were not too difficult. You were not unlovable. You were a child who deserved a mother, and you didn't get one. And that's not fair, and that's not right. But it doesn't mean you're defective. It means you grew up in a situation that no child should have to grow up in, and you survived it. And that matters. Let's talk about the mother wound. It's the term for the psychological impact of not having a healthy present mother. And it shows up in everything. It shows up in how you treat yourself. Whether you're nurturing or critical, whether you give yourself grace or punish yourself for every mistake, it shows up in your relationships. Whether you choose partners who are emotionally available or ones who mirror the abandonment you already know. It shows up in your ambitions, whether you believe you deserve success or whether you sabotage yourself right before you reach it. The mother wound is the lens through which you see the world, and until you address it, it will run your life. Here's what healing looks like. It starts with grieving. You have to grieve what you didn't get. The childhood you deserved. The mother you needed. The love that should have been freely given. And grief isn't linear. It's not something you do once and move on. It's something that comes in waves, sometimes for your whole life. And that's okay. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to feel the full weight of what you lost. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to be over it. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. Then, you have to reparent yourself. You have to become the mother you never had. You have to learn to nurture yourself, to comfort yourself, to tell yourself you're worthy, you're enough, you're lovable. You have to learn to set boundaries, to prioritize your needs, to give yourself the care you've been giving everyone else. This isn't easy. It feels awkward, unnatural, sometimes even selfish, but it's necessary, because no one else is going to mother you the way you needed to be mothered. That job is yours now. You also have to find mother figures, not replacements, because your mother is irreplaceable, but women who can give you glimpses of maternal love. A teacher, an aunt, a friend's mom, a mentor, a therapist. Women who see you, who nurture you, who show you that maternal love exists, even if your own mother couldn't give it to you, and you have to let them in, even when it's scary, even when it feels disloyal, even when you're terrified they'll leave too, because you deserve to be mothered. Even now. Even as an adult. Here's what I want you to know. Growing up without a mother is one of the hardest things a person can experience. It shapes you in ways that most people will never understand. It leaves a mark that never fully goes away. But it doesn't have to define you. You are more than your wound. You are more than what you lost. You are more than the absence that shaped you. You are a survivor, a fighter, someone who learned to love themselves when no one else did. And that's not small, that's extraordinary. Let's talk about forgiveness. People will tell you that you need to forgive your mother, that holding on to anger will only hurt you. And maybe they're right, maybe forgiveness is part of your healing, but forgiveness doesn't mean excusing what happened. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean having a relationship with her if she's still alive and still harmful. Forgiveness means releasing the hold that her absence has on you. It means accepting that she was human, flawed, and limited, and that her limitations were not your fault. It means choosing to stop letting her absence control your life. But that's your choice, and your timeline, and no one gets to rush you. Here's the truth about growing up without a mother. You will always carry it. It will always be a part of your story. There will be moments, even years from now, when you'll feel that ache, when you'll see a mother and daughter laughing together and feel that pang of jealousy, when you'll wish, just for a moment, that things had been different. And that's okay. You don't have to be healed all the time. You don't have to be over it. You don't have to stop wishing for what you didn't get. You just have to keep living, keep growing, keep choosing yourself. Because here's what they don't tell you. The child who grew up without a mother often becomes the most nurturing adult. You become the friend who shows up, the partner who loves deeply, the parent who breaks cycles, the person who sees people's pain because you know what it's like to carry your own. You become the person you needed when you were younger. And that's not nothing. That's everything. You grew up without a mother, and that shaped you, changed you, marked you, but it didn't break you. You're still here, still standing, still fighting for a life that feels whole. And that's beautiful. You are not what you lost. You are what you built in spite of it, and that makes you stronger than you know.